Holden, how did you come up with the idea of this movie? Where did this come from?
I played volleyball in high school, and my coach was a very extroverted character and was a super funny dude, and we were really good friends, even though he was 10 years older than me. He was just this like out there guy, but he was a really, really good coach. And he would kind of always like to show us videos of how he used to be D1 and all these things now, and all the time. And just like the idea of his character, I had always had that in my head, because volleyball was kind of untapped in film. And then I figured out the story. I knew it was just not going to be a sports film. It was going to be something about a guy, normal ambitions. And then as I was writing it, when these guys got casted, then the story just kind of came along. But essentially based on my old high school volleyball coach, JM.
This is your idea of normal.
Yeah, I think he's really normal, yeah.
Did you tell the coach that he's a loose inspiration?
He doesn't want, the coach is here right now, Jam is here right now. I'm not bringing him up here, but he's not there. Love you, Jam. So he's gonna kill me. You have to laugh. You have to laugh.
Yeah, Monty, did you talk to Jim and just get the character to get your character down and that kind of thing, or?
I did not.
Yeah.
Tonight is the first time he's seen it, so we'll see if he likes it or if I have some answering to do.
You took out an ad, right, in Backstage for How did you want to approach the casting for this movie?
In my last movie, I feel as if I put too much into making micro budgets. I feel like, and this is not a diss on that, but I put too much money into the actors. So I wanted
It's gonna turn out for
They know all of it. I've already talked about this, but essentially, I went on Backstage because I'm just gonna hire a bunch of unknown, undiscovered, amazing actors who are good, and I found Monty on there, and he was actually the only person I reached out to, and he had a couple things on his reel, and then I hadn't even finished writing. He was like, I'm super down, and one of the only reasons why he wanted to really do it at first was because I was just gonna show it in slow, where I go to college, and he grew up watching movies. He's from Paso Robles, and grew up watching them. He's like, hell yeah, I'm down. And then because of how awesome he is, he was like, all right, I have the guy for this role, this role, this role, this role, and essentially all the main characters are like studied with him in acting school, and they all were like, I'm down to do this because of how much we love Monty. Tommy, the script wasn't even done when he was like, I'm down to do it, and then I wrote him in as a much more utilized role.
What do you remember about your first meeting with Holden?
The thing that stood out to me was that at first he was very, very passionate about the story he wanted to tell and just filmmaking in general. And at first I was like, how old is this guy? And it didn't even really matter to me. And usually, I would like to read something before I agree to, commit to it. But I loved how passionate he was about the story, how personal it was to him, that he wanted to make it funny, make it a ride, something that everybody could sit in the theater and just have a good time watching and laugh about. And I just really liked it. And I thought we would have a really good time, working on something together. And I think he has a really bright future, and I want in on the ground floor.
So you guys all knew each other?
Yeah, Tommy and I went to acting school together in LA, a place called Playhouse West. Peter and I did a production of this really great Arthur Miller play, View from the Bridge, a couple years ago in the Pacific Palisades at a theater that is no longer standing, unfortunately, because of the fire. And then Kelly, I saw in a reading of another, Donnie, who plays the priest in the movie. He's also an incredible playwright. And I saw Kelly in a reading that he did when we were looking for the character of Jim. I was like, hey, Holden, I think you should talk to this guy.
So, what were your guys' first impressions of Holden then? Like, what was the first like, first day of film? Well, okay, go back to the first impressions.
He DM'd me on Instagram. I was on my way. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, he DM'd me on Instagram. I was on my way to Phoenix to do stand up, and I got a DM from a kid, from a literal child, being like, "Hey, dude, I want to make a movie," and I'm like, "This sounds like Dateline NBC." I should have answered. But he mentioned Monty, and I was like, "All right." And I gave him my phone number. Because I don't know if you guys have ever driven to Phoenix, but you want to die. It was awful. So I was like, you know what? I'll kill time. I'll talk to this 21-year-old kid. And he just DM'd me. He's like, hey man, I wrote this movie, and Monty's in on it. And Monty and I have been friends since I moved to LA about 5 years ago. He's like one of my first friends I've had in acting school. And I was like, yeah man, I'm down. And we just kind of talked, and we were like, I had like an idea. I was like, oh, like dude, it'd be cool like if this cop like befriended this like, it's kind of like, you know, like a love-hate relationship, like, you know, a girlfriend. And and I was like, it'd be funny if it's like a love-hate relationship, like this cop like ends up like loving this dude who's just like causing his issues. And it was very fun, and yeah, Holden and I were on the phone talking, and then the first day of shooting, I went to a random park in Long Beach. I never met him. And I roll up, and dude, and Monty and them were just filming at a park on like a Tuesday. And I was like, all right, this is cool. It's fun. And it was really fun. It really did become like a collaborative thing where like a lot of it was like this scene in the jail cell, like I was just dicking around. And I was like, dude, how funny would it be if I just started pissing? And like improvising, like I was just like funny to me because I'm an idiot. And they were like, that's actually good, you should do that. And I was like, all right, and I did it. But it was really fun to work with all the actors, and especially Holden being like, just kind of, I think like as like, you know, I hate saying the word artist. I feel like a loser, but I am. Negative. And it was fun to like be able to be like, I have these like silly, stupid ideas, and then Holden's being like, yeah, you're funny, you should do that. And I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. And that's I think what you want, is that like it really did feel like a group effort, even though like Holden like had this whole idea. It was like everybody could come in and like just kind of riff ideas of like what we want to do. Like the warehouse scene and stuff. We were there for like a couple hours. But that was like really fun. And like that was like a huge dramatic scene. And then just me, we were like rolling camera, and I was just like, oh, whatever I said to Monty, I was like, in my dreams, oh Michael, or whatever the fuck I said. I don't know. But that was funny to me. And they were like, yeah, it's good. And Holden's like, it was just cool. I think everybody worked well together. And Holden's a young, talented kid, and that was my biggest thing, was like, you're in your 20s, everybody says they want to make a movie. I know people in their 50s that want to do that and don't do shit. And he's 21, he's like, no, I want to do it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Great. All right, I'll shut up. Thanks. Anybody else?
He's still 21? This is the movie we've been to this theater from Holden. So it's like almost an annual rite of passage here for the summer. Peter, what about you? What did you bring to the events here? And what were your impressions of Holden?
Well, Monty approached me after we did a view from the bridge, and he said, really want you for the father role, but there's another part I think you would be great at. And he brought me in, and you asked me what I felt about working with Holden.
Yeah,
He was just very free, man. He gave us space to, you know, do what we wanted to do. We memorized our lines, and we came in, and we, you know, the first scene was that warehouse scene, and we just kind of let it rip, and here we are. Yeah.
Kelly, I'm hoping that what you brought to this movie was that orange shirt with the dog in it.
Where's it over?
Was that from your closet, or where did that come from?
Every shirt I wore in that movie was from my closet. Except that one. And then we had we blew a hole through the side when he shot me in the side, and we hadn't shot the scene where we have the argument and I walk out. So of course I had to hold my beer right here, so you didn't see the hole. But really a great experience. I was doing this play reading, and I get a text from Monty a couple of days later, this Donnie Jarman play. And, hey, Kelly, I think I got something. There's this role. I think you'd be good for it. Also, an alcoholic. You're perfect. And hotshot young director. Okay, wonderful. I'm in. I'm a cheap slut. And the first scene we shot was that warehouse scene, and there's a lot of angles and stuff going on, and Holden showed me everything I needed to see in about the first 5 or 10 minutes. He had a crisp, specific vision. That kind of, allowed us all to relax. And he laid out the vibe right away. Hey, you guys, let's just make it about a bunch of us guys making a movie together. And that's how it came. I'm never gonna forget any of these guys.
Movie like this, you've gotta work fast, you've gotta move fast. What do you guys remember about like the most insane day of shooting with each player?
The most insane day for me was definitely the warehouse scene, because we had such little time, and that was not that many pages that we were shooting that day, but when it's action involved, it's kind of like, and back when what Tommy was saying, we kind of like especially with Tommy, we kind of workshop that scene and just reshape like what makes sense, what doesn't. And obviously, I've seen it like 10 times now, there's plenty of things I would change, but that scene was definitely the most intense for me, at least.
Yeah, I got to drive a cop car. Shit, that was awesome. That was seriously. Dude, let me tell you, a lot of power. It was awesome. Most intense. I guess I think the thing that Holden did a really good job was it never felt intense for me. I don't know how you guys felt. Also, please give it up for these guys. They were amazing. All of them. They're great. Such good actors. Everybody. It never felt intense because it was like, it just felt so collaborative that I mean, we're blessed in that Holden writes such a good, has like what Kelly was saying, he has such a clear vision and idea that we get so much freedom to play with that like for us it's very freeing that we get to play around with that. So I never really felt it, like any intense moment or any intense day or pressure or anything. It was very freeing of like, I can come here, I can act, I can do what I want to do, and if Holden wants to try something different, great, try something different, play off my fellow actors. That's what it was. I never felt intense, and that's just a blessing of having a good director and writer who has the vision. Truly it is. So a lot of credit to Holden that he knows what he wanted.
Most intense day?
Yeah.
I think for me, I showed up, I was ready to do this whole other scene, and Holden said, we're gonna shoot the scene with the two girls trapped in the basement. Right? and I just dove right in, and the next thing I know, I'm in there with these two women, I'm terrorizing these women. I guess that was the most intense day because we just had to dive in and just go with your instincts, and I think that was a pretty good scene. I don't remember.
I've got you under my skin. Well, yeah, what is going on right now? Peter just handed me the mic and I go, karaoke time?
Remember the question? Most intense day.
Oh, the most intense day. Oh. Wow. For me, probably when we shot we had like 6 or 7 scenes to do in Monty's. That's actual Monty's disgusting apartment, and we didn't even have to dress it. You know, that's perfect. But we had so many different scenes, and then after you've done, 3 or 4, they start transposing, but came out all right, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that day was very intense because, like you said, you're doing scene after scene after scene and trying to keep it all in order. I think by the end of the day, we were saying lines from like different pages of the script. They were like, I don't even know where we are. But honestly, none of it was like intense in a negative way because, again, what everybody was saying, like Holden comes in with such a strong vision that you do feel that freedom to just kind of like make choices and give him a lot of options in the edit and have fun. So for me, it was all kind of just a blur of, scheming on this guy and his family, pretty much. And it was just a blast, really.
How many days did you end up shooting this movie, Holden?
Thank you, Tommy. I think it was like 14 days, but then Monty and I started in November. We filmed the Eric Roberts scene was his first day on set. And then we went to Oliver's house, who's an amazing actor, Oliver Cooper, and they were able to just kind of riff off each other. And that was like right before or after Thanksgiving. And then from the 12th to the 23rd, I think, we filmed. And it was like right before Christmas. Thankfully, like, no one here, has anything to, they don't hang out with their family or anything. So they were all really available. And we got it knocked out. Thank God. That was the other thing, was like availability. And we had 2 people drop out 4 days before filming, and one of them would have been really, really cool. But it was all I talked about this with Monty, who was like executive producer on this. Like, he was very, very involved. Anytime that someone drops out or something like that, it's always a blessing. And in this case, it like totally was. Like, the people that we switched it for, it was like, oh my God, why didn't I think about this before? But yeah, like 14 days, and then editing took forever, but 14 days of filming, I think.
14 days, and so you're filming around Long Beach. Are you like permitted to do all these things?
No, absolutely not.
I don't really I'm trying to find a delicate way to ask
No.
this question where, it's not going out into the world here.
No, it was 100% legal. There's bigger movies that have done no permits, but nobody's gonna come up to us, and thank God nobody did. But like a lot of times, like any of the sets that you saw, like the police station or anything, that was through this website called Gigster, and it's just people who own the property, and you don't really need a permit. But
What was your favorite spot here in Long Beach to shoot?
in Long Beach, we didn't film that much in Long Beach, but so the volleyball scenes,
Yeah.
Rossmore Park was awesome, and I say that because it was literally blessed by God. It was the only day, it was pouring rain that day on our first day of filming, the only day I needed it to be sunny out, and I was losing my mind about it. And then I was on the phone, I think, with, what's his name, Davis, and he was driving over to the gym, and he said, it's sunny over here, it's sunny over here. And I'm texting all them, and there's so many people that day, I'm like, get the fuck to Rossmore right now. So that was probably my favorite place because I really needed that to happen. And thankfully, it was so sunny. None of that is even color graded in that scene because of how well the camera picks up the light. But that was my favorite Long Beach location, I guess.
Let's open it up for a couple of questions from the audience. Does anyone have anything they'd like to ask Holden or one of the cast members? Shy, you guys have something.
It's Brad. Yeah. Yeah, that was my dad.
Give it up for Brad.
That's my dad back there. Yeah, he went from being the star of my movie 2 movies ago and being in every single scene to me and Monty showing up at my house and being like, all right, put your tidy whities on and your white t-shirt on and kind of like Billy Madison-esque scene, like, let's do this. But yeah, that was my father, Brad.
Is this a real question or? Okay.
What do you find the hardest part about writing a script?
Trying to put you in any role. The hardest part for this was like figuring out how to, like again, like make a story about a beach volleyball player and make it not, like I had an idea for a while and it was about, oh, his trophy goes missing, and I had this whole arc of like, kind of like Donnie Darko almost, like, I had this idea that his trophy went missing, he kind of had a reverse character arc and traveled back in time to the moment it went missing, and then the end of the movie was when he received the trophy, and he kind of finds it, like, it was a whole thing, and then I talked to Davis about it, who I was always just like, oh, his trophy's gonna go missing, and Davis like, no one wants to watch that. And then, so the hardest part was like figuring out the story. The character was always really there, and then also I cast a lot of these guys before it was done, the script was written, so knowing like them and figuring it out was able to really write for them, I feel like, even though I didn't know them that well, like, so that was like the hardest part of actually just dialing down the story of it all.
Are you writing anything right now?
Me and the person sitting to my left, Tommy, are rewriting from scratch an old comedy I had written about a guy who gets catfish, and I wrote it like 2 years ago, and Tommy and I are writing it from scratch right now. I'm going away, he's going on tour, and we're gonna kind of come back in August and write it, but we're super passionate about this one. It's gonna be hilarious, and yeah.
Maybe we'll be back here again next summer? Who knows?
Maybe not next summer. We're trying to raise actual money for this one to get it done like right.
Good raunchy comedy.
Good raunchy comedy, and that's what we're essentially trying to bring back, and just kind of bring people to theater again and make them laugh.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming.
Really? No other questions?